Hi, I'm Jen from the Talk Around Riyadh podcast. It's nice to see you. Thank you for speaking with me today. So season 3 literally started with a bang, with some new weaves being channeled and stunt work. Can you tell us about what that was like to film?
It was epic to film. A middle-aged 52-year-old mother of two. So I was like, yeah, get me up that harness. Yeah, it was great. It was really thrilling. I didn't sort of expect it to be so action-packed, and particularly when the knives go through Liandrin's body. I mean, I'm literally walking around backstage with like knives hanging out. But I do a lot of theatre, so I'm sort of used to all sorts of things like that. But it was thrilling, absolutely, and so daring as well. I thought of the writers to make such a long cold open. The wonderful thing about that is it really is when the whole world, the whole crew and the cast and the actors and the writers, we're all heading towards the same focus to make this scene as best as we can. And we've all got the same, MO and destination, is to try and make this scene as absolutely brilliant as possible. And there's so many departments making that happen. We started rehearsing it, 6 or 7 weeks before we shot it. And it took, I can't quite remember how long it took, but it took weeks to shoot. And because we finished the stuff in the White Tower, and we were like, cut, action, well done. We got it all after, I don't know, 2 weeks in there. And there was like, now we're going outside to do that. And I'm like, oh God, what a hot, massive scene to do, which took another 2 weeks. So yeah, it was thrilling. And the lovely thing was, I remember Sophie and I have known each other for over 25 years. And and we did a play together when we were very, very young, where I was playing her little sister in a sort of theatre show in London. And it was so brilliant, me being up on the harness and Sophie being down there and us meeting each other. And I thought, gosh, how lucky we are. We're much older women now, but we're doing just this cool thing.
That's amazing. That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so Liandrin's son is obviously the most important person in her life. She's still feeling his loss deeply in season 3.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about him and his impact on Liandrin's character?
Well, I think in season 3, he's died now, so it's just to meet her where she's at in season 3, and she goes back to where he was born. Mm-hmm. She's meeting a memory. She's lost, but she's meeting the memory of the beginning of him, and it's such a complicated beginning. How he was conceived, but that, I don't think she connects that to him, but obviously it is a connection. But she loved him, but she's meeting the culture that made that happen. Yeah. So when she goes back to Tanchico, she's meeting the old self, and the old ways and the old culture and everything that she has tried to escape. And she's going to go in, and she's going to lasso it. And as always, Liandrin, she goes a little bit too far.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the way you're saying it, it's like, yeah, go. Like, I want her to win, but also maybe a little too far, but
I know.
That's hard out.
Also lobotomizing the girl, that's it's very Liandrin. It's like, it's extremes. Everything's extremes. And I think that's why the relationship between her and Nynaeve is so potent, because it's not extremes. It's living in between the dark and the light, and so that's why it's so potent and fascinating, I think. And it's great to play. It's always great to play with Zoe, because we've sort of, it's spoken. We don't say, and then maybe in this bit we can, it's just very unspoken between us, that there's a simpatico going on for all the wrong reasons, but there's something going on there. So what I love playing about Liandrin is her extremes, but then there are moments where she catches herself within that extremity and meets a human side. So that's why it's such a great character to play.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing scenes even in last season where you're speaking with Nynaeve and it's like you forgot yourself.
Why is this working?
Yeah. That's great. Thank you. This season delves deeper into Liandrin's motivations and her potential alliances. So, were there any specific scenes or moments that were either challenging or rewarding for you to film this season?
I think it's about the abandon, and I think it's about being the power hungry, and there's a hunting going on.
Hmm.
There's the Reds were always the hunters, weren't they? I
Right.
think the way of describing them. There's they hunt the men,
Hmm.
and I think that's what's that's always great about her. She strides, the way that sits in my body.
Hmm.
I'm my family would probably say I'm a bit of a strider, but but it's finding that in her body is that she's hunting, she's trying to find these things that will place her into a place where she's always building, it's always about building toward. I mean, God knows how she's going to be when she gets there.
Yes.
But it's like power, isn't it? I mean that's the great thing about the story is it's about what power does to people.
Yeah.
And we are in a world where that is never been more true.
Yeah.
How people are corrupted by power, and it's never enough.
Yeah.
When is it going to be enough?
Okay, we've talked about the show's fabulous villain rule, and those black Aja outfits in episode 3 were a perfect example of that.
But
How did how did you work with Sharon Gillam and her team to change up Leandrin's look this season? What was that process like?
Sharon is something else. I mean, obviously you can see from her work, and Davina, who does the hair and makeup, they're just amazing together. And you just, I can't, I literally can't describe. You go into the fitting rooms and there are paintings on the wall of another incredible costume and another, not just mine, but everybody. And I just think, does Sharon ever sleep? She sort of plug her brain into something that then interprets her thoughts into these incredible, because I say to her, I don't know, where do you make these? It's extraordinary. And she has a really strong take, so, and I really trust her because she's an artist. I mean, she really is a full-on blown artist, Sharon and Davina. They are at the top of their game, and I don't know how they have the bandwidth for it, to be honest. But you go in and there's just another layer of things. So, but for instance, the dress that I wear in episode 3, when I go back to it, that was literally, we had a base sort of shape and a dress, and then she's bringing out fabric that she's had in her kit from 12 years that she found once in a flea market in Copenhagen, or I've got that thing, and then she'll sort of pin it on your head, and then like, well, maybe, and you've got a canvas, and as long as you're comfortable, that's all I care. I just want to make sure I can breathe and go to the loo.
That's the most important thing. Okay, Kate, thank you so much. This was great. It was so nice talking to you today, and I can't wait to see the rest of the season.